At the beginning of 2025, Bitcoin was at $92,000. During this year, its lowest point was $75,000 and its highest reached $125,000. It's currently correcting around $100,000. The question now, does it correct further this year before continuing a likely upward trend? However, since what really matters for this analysis is the potential growth over the next 5 years, let's take a closer look. Bitcoin is still the king of digital assets. And as we approach the end of 2025, excitement around long-term price potential is at an all-time high. In this video, we're breaking down what top analysts and trusted data models are projecting for Bitcoin from 2025 all the way through 2030. We'll explore the numbers, the trends, and the forces that could shape Bitcoin's journey, all backed by technical indicators, institutional adoption, and global macro trends. Before we dive in, a quick note. This video is for educational and informational purposes only. It's not financial advice, and the price predictions you'll hear are analyst projections and potential scenarios, not guarantees. Cryptocurrency is highly volatile, and any investment carries risk. So always do your own research and consider consulting a licensed financial professional. Now that's out of the way, let's explore what top analysts are forecasting for Bitcoin from 2025 to 2030. Right now, 2025, Bitcoin remains in a strong long-term uptrend, even after periods of market volatility. Its structure shows higher lows and higher highs, classic signs of a bullish cycle that isn't finished yet. A major driver of this momentum has been massive capital inflows into Bitcoin ETFs. Since early 2024, these funds have made it easier for institutions, hedge funds, pension funds, and asset managers to gain exposure to Bitcoin without directly holding it. This steady demand has helped stabilize sentiment and create consistent buying pressure. Institutional participation continues to grow, with top investment firms including Bitcoin in diversified portfolios as a hedge against inflation and currency devaluation. This professional demand gives the market a stronger foundation than previous retail-driven cycles. Projections for 2025 currently suggest a Bitcoin price range of $90,000 to $130,000, with an average target near $110,000. The $70,000, $75,000 zone remains key support. If the price holds here during corrections, it signals that long-term buyers are still in control. A breakout above $130,000 could ignite renewed momentum, potentially opening the door to new all-time highs. And some analysts see this as a signal for the next bullish leg, possibly extending into early 2026. The bullish outlook is built on 3 pillars. 1. Institutional accumulation, steady buying from professional investors. 2. Sustained ETF inflows, continuous demand from regulated investment products. 3. Strong technical structure. Upward momentum supported by long-term market cycles and robust on-chain fundamentals. If these conditions hold, 2025 could be the year of consolidation that sets the stage for Bitcoin's next potential record-breaking move, highlighting its maturity as a global digital asset class. Looking ahead to 2026, many analysts expect Bitcoin to stay comfortably above 6 figures, likely fluctuating between $100,000 and $130,000, with some highs and dips depending on global economic conditions. This period is often called the maturity phase, as Bitcoin gradually transitions from a high-growth speculative asset to a more established store of value. Key forces shaping 2026 include global liquidity. More available capital and lower borrowing costs generally support risk assets like Bitcoin, encouraging institutions to increase allocations to alternative stores of value. Federal Reserve policy. Bitcoin has historically reacted inversely to U.S. interest rates. Lower rates or a softer stance by the Fed can weaken the dollar and boost alternative assets. In such an environment, Bitcoin could potentially surpass $150,000, reinforcing its role as a digital reserve asset, a next-generation alternative to gold. Quantitative models like stock-to-flow, S2F, still point to higher potential valuations, sometimes between $150,000 and $200,000. However, it's important to note that the model's accuracy has diminished in recent years, as market dynamics have evolved beyond simple supply halving logic. In short, 2026 could be the year Bitcoin proves its ability to sustain a six-figure valuation, moving from volatility to credibility. Whether it consolidates near $130,000 or pushes toward $150,000 will largely depend on institutional demand and macro conditions, two factors that could define the next bullish cycle. By 2027 and 2028, Bitcoin is expected to enter a new stage of structural maturity, a phase where the market behaves less like a speculative frenzy and more like a mainstream financial asset. During this period, BTC is likely to show greater stability, backed by deep liquidity and widespread institutional participation. Most forecasts suggest Bitcoin above $150,000, provided it maintains strong long-term support above $100,000, with potential peaks reaching or exceeding $200,000. Holding that base would signal that six-figure Bitcoin prices are no longer a temporary spike, they're becoming the new normal. So what defines this maturation phase? By 2027, Bitcoin and other digital assets could become core holdings in institutional portfolios, including pension funds and sovereign wealth funds and corporate treasuries. ETFs and regulated custody solutions will make holding crypto as simple as owning stocks or bonds. This professional capital base will help dampen extreme volatility, creating a more predictable market. Blockchain technology will go far beyond cryptocurrency. Financial institutions are expected to tokenize real-world assets, from bonds to real estate, on-chain. As this infrastructure matures, Bitcoin will increasingly act as a benchmark asset, similar to how gold anchors traditional finance. With deeper liquidity, diversified holders, and automated market systems, the massive 80% drawdowns seen in past cycles may become rare. Price swings will still happen. This is Bitcoin after all, but they are likely to be less extreme, allowing for long-term investor confidence. In short, 2027 to 2028 could mark the transition from speculation to legitimacy, with Bitcoin evolving from a high-risk trade to a recognized global asset integrated into the foundation of next-generation financial systems. Looking to 2029 and 2030, analysts project that Bitcoin will be widely recognized as a global financial asset, integrated into markets like gold or major equities. Most long-term forecasts place BTC between $200,000 and $300,000, assuming continued adoption, growing institutional participation, and expanding liquidity. Some models anticipate temporary spikes above $300,000, followed by natural market corrections, the typical ebb and flow of a maturing asset. It's important to note that predictions suggesting Bitcoin could reach $1 million before 2030 are widely regarded as unrealistic. Such projections often overlook the size of the global economy and Bitcoin's relative market capitalization, potential regulatory interventions, and practical market constraints, including liquidity limits and competition from other assets. Even in a bullish scenario, several factors could slow or reverse Bitcoin's growth. Stricter regulation on stablecoins, exchanges, or crypto infrastructure. Reduced global liquidity or a prolonged economic recession. Security failures, network stagnation, or emerging competing technologies. Analysts note that a pullback towards $70,000 would still be a healthy correction as long as Bitcoin maintains its long-term bullish trend. Retracements like these are normal in a maturing market and can even set the stage for the next sustained upward cycle. The consensus among leading analysts is clear. Bitcoin remains in a long-term uptrend, supported by institutional demand and strong on-chain fundamentals, including network security, adoption, and liquidity. Looking ahead. For 2025, most projections place Bitcoin between $90,000 and $130,000, reflecting consolidation and the potential for new all-time highs. By 2030, most forecasts place Bitcoin between $200,000 and $300,000. For the more optimistic analysts, Bitcoin could even reach somewhere between $350,000 and $450,000 by then. Of course, this assumes steady adoption, market maturity, and stable macroeconomic conditions, with some ups and downs along the way. What's most important is that no regular forecast places Bitcoin lower than it is today. Everyone agrees that the trend is upward, and that's what really matters. But who knows? The market is the boss. All right, in 2030, we'll come back and check this out, for better or for worse. Hopefully, it's for the good. Let's see what God has planned for us. Until then, keep believing, keep learning, and I'll see you in the next one. Join us here for free or at millionairesgold.com for only $4.99 per month or $49.99 per year. And use the promo code YT10 to get an additional 10% discount. Let's fly together into this new financial reality. Remember, these are scenarios, not guarantees. Cryptocurrency markets are inherently volatile, shaped by monetary policy, technology, regulation, and investor sentiment. Takeaway: staying informed about fundamentals, institutional behavior, and global macro trends is far more important than focusing on a single price target. Bitcoin's long-term path will be defined by structural growth and adoption, not short-term speculation. In other words, price targets provide context, but understanding the forces driving the market is what truly empowers informed decisions. Millionaires Gold doesn't promise instant wealth or easy success. Instead, it offers a platform built on effort, learning, and persistence with a little toil, tears, and sweat along the way. Your results depend entirely on your own dedication. Inside Millionaires Gold, you're not just a member, you're a builder. Learn, share, and grow through classes, community insights, and a supportive network designed to help you develop your skills and seize real opportunities. Welcome to Millionaires Gold, where the future is built, not wished for.